What it is, what it be like, good people. It's your boy DJ.
And I'm Real, a.k.a. I'm not a GOAT, but I fit the description.
And we are the motherfucking Nasty Boys. Now, I probably should have asked this before we started, but what episode is this?
He is terrible at this. 43.
43. I was for sure going to say 42.
Troy Polamalu. Let's go.
All right. And episode 43, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by a very, very special sponsor. Mm-hmm. Now, as we all know, summer's coming to a close and fall's ready to slide in like a freshly lubed porn star. I didn't write this copy, but I'm going to keep it moving. Yep, that's right. Cuddle season is just around the corner. Ladies are ready to shed their summer shame and settle for something slightly below average. And that's where you step in, my friend. If you're anything like me, you're not from Green Bay, so you ain't packing. Luckily for gentlemen like us, there's Bernadine's Little Big Condoms, made from a special patented material discovered by NASA. Bernadine's Little Big Condoms expand from friction, making your partner feel like they're being pleasured by a true sexual minotaur. Never feel that dreadful trepidation in the bedroom again. You can actually Netflix and chill the fuck out, because Bernadine's Little Big Condoms will have you both feeling like the man you are on the inside. So spray the cologne, turn the cuddle on, and get ready to bone. Bernadine's Little Big Condoms, sold in a hardware store near you and all remaining Eckerd's pharmacies. Now, folks, that being said, if you're out there in YouTube land, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, rate us. Make sure you give us 5 stars. If you don't, I must assume you are, in fact, a hater.
You the ops.
Now, that being said, you see the vibes behind us. I don't know what the framing is like today, but there is new chairs. We got a table. We got some sexy ass lights that are real grown and sexy. I feel like I should be wearing a baggy button up and some slacks, listening to some Anita Baker in the club between 3 and 5, because then after that, the old people got to get the fuck out. But we're just making upgrades, people. You hear that crystal clear audio? We got the 3 C's,
oh my God,
color, cut, and clarity. Again, audio shining like a diamond. Thank you very much to a company that is not sponsoring us, so I can't say their name, but they're doing the Lord's work.
Basically, I mean, it's Sunday, and they are blessing us right now. Also, we kind of need a feel that matches the host. You know what I mean? If it's going to be sexy, you know what I mean?
I mean, tell me you're sexy without telling me you're sexy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure this is the right vibe.
It's the right vibe.
Okay.
It's the right vibe.
Just clashing all over the place.
Yeah.
So that be, hey, it's not clashing, it's popping. The colors are popping on the screen.
Laura told us before the show started that this kind of reminds her of her childhood, so she's not a huge fan.
She's mad triggered right now.
It's the peacock painting in the background, which if you're watching on YouTube, it looks like a portrait that my parents had hanging up growing up.
I did say grown and sexy.
Shout out to your parents.
Painting is mad grown.
They had a very weird taste growing up, so it's
I'm ready to step in the name of love right now.
Also, tell your parents my birthday's coming up next week, so they can say happy birthday for once in my life.
Well, my parents' anniversary are coming up. Are you going to wish them a happy anniversary?
You know it. I do every year.
Okay. What year is it? I don't even know.
It's 50th.
Hey, shout out to Personal Beefs on a public podcast. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So this is something we were going to talk about last week, but La hadn't watched it yet. We didn't want to spoil it for her.
Right.
But it's here, ladies and gentlemen. The Suicide Squad.
Don't let me go first.
So, all right, let me back up. Before I give my review, let me say what my expectations were going into the movie.
Okay.
I expected it to be dog shit. I was expecting garbage, because that first
DC.
one was a dumpster fire.
Yes, it was.
It was basically DC's attempt to recreate the Avengers, except they didn't have 10 years of movies preceding it to set up all the backstories.
Yeah.
So they gave you 8 different bad guys that you had never heard of, expected you to give a fuck.
Yeah, it's like
but wait, they had Will Smith, so you have to care, right? Right? That makes it a blockbuster. The movie was ass, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. First Suicide Squad is ass.
Oh, no.
So what were you expecting going into this one?
So, because it was directed by James Gunn, I know he's really good with, like, ensemble cast.
Because you know directors.
I do. I mean,
what else has James Gunn directed?
Being in the business.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Exactly.
I mean, this ain't fucking Masterpiece Theater. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. But, so just knowing that he's really good with those type of movies, he's a Marvel guy, basically, to me.
Well, he's shot other things in Marvel. His big one was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Are you just going to tell me my opinion? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Just say it.
Shout out to Live knowing stuff.
I just say that's just one of the movies he's done.
I didn't know shit about James Gunn.
Why is he so famous? Because of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
that's what everyone knows about. So again, Marvel guy to me. I'm just trying to say. So, but again, it's DC, and just personally, I don't care too much for DC. Batman's cool with me. I feel like most of the Batman shit's good. Like Dark Knight series is still top 5 as far as superhero movies go. But my expectations were it's a bunch of characters I don't care about. I don't care about talking sharks. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? It's just Harley Quinn's cool and funny, but just not my cup of tea.
We're going to come back to Harley Quinn and Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
But the movie itself, to me, if I was expecting on a scale of 1 to 10, if I was expecting a 1.5.
Oh, no.
It
I
was
was
like a
expecting
6.
I was going to expect it to be, honestly, I was expecting around like a 6 or 7 area.
Why? You had no evidence to say this movie would be good.
I really like James Gunn though. I like the way he used his humor, even though he failed horribly to me on the new Suicide Squad. Was it better than the last one to me? Yes, but you know what I'm saying? That's not really saying much. It's better than bologna,
So you're the type to watch a movie just because of who directed it, not necessarily who's in it, but just who directed it.
No, I like comic shit.
So, but you still expected a 6 or a 7 after you knew the first one was dog shit.
Because all right, to be fair, Shazam was good. That's a DC movie.
Okay.
We already said the first Wonder Woman was pretty decent. Man of Steel to me was all right.
Man of Steel was ass.
I know it's possible for DC to have some good, and if you have not a great director, but a good director like James Gunn, you can make some shit pop.
Okay, so you said you expected a 6 or 7. What do you feel like you got?
A 4.
So okay,
and did I sleep through some of it? Yes.
So it didn't meet your expectations.
No, not at all. I didn't like the movie at all.
Okay, so what didn't you like about it?
One, I hated the forced humor. It just shit wasn't even fun. It was mad corny to me.
I like the humor. I thought it was funny.
No, a lot of people said they liked the movie. Yeah, a lot of people liked it. I didn't.
I thought it was quippy and witty.
The main villain was lame to me. I understand you trying to be all quirky and shit and all this stuff, but the big ass starfish.
The starfish just reminded me of...
the villain was trash. That's the first thing I was about to say.
Yes.
The starfish
just looked like a big
Patrick.
butthole.
I just saw SpongeBob's Patrick's. For some reason, that's all I could think about.
That's fair.
I know he was blue.
That's fair.
I had a few different issues with the movie. So let's jump back to Harley Quinn real quick.
And I didn't care about anybody.
Can we finally put it to bed that Harley Quinn is not like a leading character?
No.
Like she can't
They
carry
tried,
a movie. Because they tried with the first Suicide Squad. Then Birds of Prey, which sucked.
Yeah.
And then now this movie, it seems like they finally figured out like, Margot Robbie's cool at what she does, but that shit can't carry a whole movie. Like it has to be like a side character.
They forced her into, if she feels forced into this movie, like she wasn't really necessary.
No, it feels like Margot Robbie already had a deal to be in Suicide Squad 2, and so like they had to put her in it because she's not in it that much. Like, okay, she's in it a decent amount, but she's not like the main character, not the main plot
Idris
point.
and John Cena are like the main two.
Yeah, and fucking shocker to me, Idris Elba is the fucking star of the movie. I had no idea before I turned this shit on. I thought it was about to be about Harley Quinn. Now I knew he was in it, but I just assumed he was like, a B-level, C-level character.
Yeah.
I didn't know like he was the dude, that this was like his action movie.
I ain't gonna lie, the flyest person in that movie to me was the polka dot dude.
He grossed me the fuck out.
He did the beginning when he like.
That shit was fly as hell. That man just brings polka dots out and just tear shit up.
That shit honestly was kind of triggering for me because it's like, how some people can't see like bones breaking, they can't watch like blood and guts, like skin shit.
Give it to me, son.
Makes my skin crawl.
I can't. Nipple popper.
No, but I can watch that. But it's like, okay.
So you didn't like Hostel?
Okay, all right. Let me break it down for you like this. Other people saw 2 girls in 1 cup. They vomited.
I didn't care about that. Yeah.
I saw 2 girls 1 cup. Okay.
I'm so curious. I get interested in shit I don't see normally. That's why that stuff doesn't bother me.
But the thing for me was, all right. So have I told y'all about the rotten titty video? All right, so
I don't think I want to hear it.
I absolutely want to know about the rotten
titty. It's a lady in some like third world country, right? And she got like a cut on her breast. But it's a place where they don't really have first aid kits. Ooh. So like that shit got so infected that like maggots started to like grow in it.
Oh.
And it's a video of the doctor taking the maggots out. Like, that shit. Oh, I can't. Just thinking about it. And so because of
that treatment,
the dude with the polka dots, like when he started to like have the shit growing out his skin, like I couldn't deal with that shit. Like it was fucking the movie up.
The polka dot was good, but
like he was fucking gross.
No, don't put polka dot man on gross titties.
And well, here's
different level.
Here's the other thing to me, right? Is like, I was a Marvel fan growing up as a kid.
Same.
So other than like Harley Quinn and maybe Peacemaker, I didn't really know none of these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, I hadn't heard of any of them.
I knew Bloodshot from the last one, but not Deadshot, I mean, not Bloodshot.
Are they the same thing?
No, so what it was.
Okay, they're 2 different people?
I thought they were supposed to be related.
What it was is
tell.
They almost did like a War Machine thing. You know how they switched from Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle? They were going to do a change from Will Smith to Idris Elba, but they didn't want to do all the confusion, so they just gave him a whole totally different character who basically does the same shit.
Okay, that's what I.
But that was about to be
sure.
my question. Is so Bloodshot is not replacing Deadshot, but it's also not the same person.
Right.
So
But they had like the same characters, like the child.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's
They're
all it was.
exactly the same
like all
that's-
their backstories and shit seem to be the
It's just
same.
another D-list character. You know, like when you get like X-Men, when you start getting to these bum ass X-Men, they basically just all do the same shit. It's just in different colors. Like I spray shit out of my hand, it's green. Well, I spray shit and it's orange. You know, that's all it is.
Well, but that's why I was confused. Is like if they're not supposed to be the same person, they're both black. Their costumes look the fucking same. Their
Yes.
powers are the same.
Yes.
Their backstory is kind of the same. How is that supposed to stop the confusion? That's
Look,
what,
say his
that's
older
what I
brother.
want to
I didn't
say.
say
I
it
would
made
just say
sense. I'm
they're
telling you why they
related.
did it.
But you said James Gunn could save any movie.
Rewind the tape. I don't remember saying anything like that. I said he was a
You
good
said you
director.
expected a 7 because it was James Gunn.
Yeah, I expected one.
All right, so hold on.
And I didn't get it.
But then you said he gave you a 4.
Yes.
So the next James Gunn movie you watch, are you still expecting a 7?
If it's Marvel, yes. Because
gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy
Disney's not going to let you
3.
get away with that bullshit.
Okay, so you don't love James Gunn.
No.
You love Marvel.
Yes.
But you said you're expecting a 7 because of James Gunn. So I'm
yes.
confused.
I see what he did.
Have you seen any other James Gunn movies?
Yeah.
Which one?
Name him.
Exactly. You don't love James Gunn.
I don't love. No,
You
no,
just
no.
want to come in here and sound like a movie
No,
critic.
son, no.
Who's his brother?
Bob Gunn.
I think it's Billy Gunn, actually, the pro wrestler.
Billy Gunn. Badass
No,
Billy
seriously.
Gunn.
It's
Yes.
actually Sean Gunn.
Oh,
Sean, I didn't know that.
who's Sean Gunn?
S-E-A-N.
Who's Sean Gunn?
He's another director. What are you talking about?
He's an actor.
Who directs his roles?
He don't know nothing. All right, but okay, let's go back to Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on the comedy.
I have
He's
some.
actually in it. Sean Gunn's actually in it. He brought him in his cameo.
You know, the dude who's from who played what's the whistling guy from Guardians of the Galaxy? Had the
fucking
Jan.
Yondu, I think was his
yeah,
name.
Yondu.
I want to say
He's
Yondu.
been in every James Gunn film.
Has he?
Yep.
He's in this one too.
Yeah.
Michael Roker,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So that reminds me. So
He had the long hair.
Savant.
the beginning of the movie, to me the funniest piece of comedy was when Weasel died.
Yeah.
That was like the funniest part of the movie to me.
Oh,
spoiler
creeped
alert!
me
That happens
out.
in like the first 5
I
minutes.
can tell that you didn't really watch it.
Wait, him dying or just his creature?
He didn't die.
His creature.
No. I
He's
know he
like-
comes
he's
back
like-
in the after credit scene, but I'm saying they.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
He can't swim.
Yeah. They're like, hey, can Weasel swim?
You know the funniest thing it reminded me of? I'll get right back on topic. But back in high school, my buddy Matt had a pool in the backyard, so we used to just always be in there, and they would do underwater boxing. Just go
Okay.
underwater. We're in high school. You do dumb shit, and people just go down there and just fight each other. But we had a friend named Ferris who decided to do it, so he just jumps in there, and we're looking at each other, and we're all like, "Hey, can Ferris swim?" And everyone's like, "No." This motherfucker just jumped in the pool, and he couldn't swim. So we had to
Yo,
say,
did Ferris have a death wish? I don't understand.
How did
"No, he was just excited to fight, but he couldn't swim." So,
Usually, if you don't know how to swim, you just don't jump into the deep end of the pool.
hey, we were not the brightest candles in the chandelier.
I mean, nobody was.
that Metro
Yeah.
schooling.
I did
Yeah.
all types of wild shit as a
Facts.
kid.
Yeah, but anyway.
Okay,
Anyway.
so my beef with the movie. All right, so number one, I did feel like the comedy was forced. I liked the comedy in the beginning, like with Weasel dying, some of the back and forth, the banter when they were like on the plane going to the first mission. But then as the movie went on, like I felt like it just wasn't funny. And the movie to me was too long. Like the movie was like 2
Way
hours
too long.
and 10 minutes, 2 hours and 15 minutes, something like that. If they had cut like 20 minutes out the movie, to me it would have been way better because I feel like there's parts in the middle
Yes.
that just drag.
You know what I didn't like either? I know it's a ton of characters, but I feel like the character development was mad weak. Like, you don't care about anybody, really. I didn't, at least.
Well, but I feel like that's like the big dirty little secret is that nobody knows who any of these DC bad guys are.
They were
Like,
definitely
none
all
of them.
D-list people, for sure.
Well, but I feel like at DC in general, like if you ask like the average person, okay, you know Batman, you know Superman,
And Wonder
maybe you know
Woman.
Green Lantern,
Yeah.
Flash, like you know the Justice League.
Yeah,
But do
basically.
you know anybody beyond that?
No.
Well,
Most
I
people
kinda
couldn't tell
like
you.
it. Well, they
Kids-
didn't like go so in depth. Like they gave you just enough where it's not boring. And well, the only one that they dragged out because like even with the Peacemaker, they didn't.
They don't explain him at all.
Exactly,
No.
but his exposition, like how he spoke, was like you can gather up what he did.
Well, I
And
guess
the rat. What's it? What they?
Weasel.
Weasel, not the
No,
Weasel,
the girl who
Oh,
controls
the actual
rats.
rat.
That part, yeah, that part.
Well, no, like
that was
Rat Talker
funny.
or something like mad. Like,
Rat Catcher 2.
Rat, yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Because her
That
dad was
whole
Ratcatcher 1.
Yeah.
And then the whole story behind like the dad thing. I was like, and then Joe. I
Well,
thought
I
that
feel
was
like-
unnecessary, but it was really funny because you needed like that soft to bring the strong.
I didn't care much for it, but
emotionally absent.
I mean,
guy.
my beef with the character development wasn't really like their backstories. It was like I just wanted to know why everybody was in
Exactly.
jail. Because the movie starts with How to Get Away with Murder Lady. I don't know her real name.
well, we knew Whatchcall was in.
Viola
I know her name.
Davis.
Yeah, Viola
we
Davis.
knew why Idris was in there.
So we knew why Idris was in there, but I'm saying all the other secondary
Yeah,
characters.
yeah.
I don't need to know your life story, but just
Yeah,
tell me
but
how you
that's
got in jail.
Also, I will say,
That's true because they didn't.
You know
mention
what?
Why they were in jail? 'Cause
They
they're
did,
all
well,
supposed
no,
to be
they said
bad
the one
people.
girl, the Rat Catcher 2, was in jail because she robbed a bank.
Oh, yeah.
But Peacemaker they didn't explain to you because the way he's out here killing people, how the fuck did they arrest
Yeah,
Peacemaker?
Probably because he was killing people.
I'm not gonna lie,
like,
to-
not being just.
to me, DC is basically like the Burger King of comics.
Explain.
So back in the 90s, they had Wheeler and all these people. You kind of cared about Burger King. You wanted to go to Burger King as a kid. It was all right, but you knew McDonald's was still king, which is Marvel to me. But somehow, like even now, Burger King kind of forgot about it. It don't really matter.
Yeah, I really couldn't tell you the last time I had Burger King.
Yeah, it just.
I mean, I made some upgrades in my life, so
Yeah.
I don't really eat Burger King or McDonald's.
We didn't just upgrade the studio.
But okay, so one thing this movie made me think of, right? Because I have a sick ass mind.
As you
So
should.
Suicide Squad is obviously about a bunch of bad guys who get thrown together, and they want them to basically act like a unit to like carry out these missions. It started to make me think about like my own family. And how there's some people in my family like that I don't fuck with.
Yeah.
Are y'all really down with your extended families like that? Not your parents, your brothers
I
and
know
sisters.
what
I'm
you
talking
mean.
about like cousins, aunts, uncles, all that shit. Do you really fuck with them like that?
So it's like,
Spoiler alert, I don't.
no, for the most part, I feel like it's a certain level of cousins that like just are my people. But also, you start getting a little too far away. I don't even know their names. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, but that's the thing for me. It's almost like it's one thing if somebody is your friend. Like this is somebody I chose to have in my life.
Yeah.
They're still here. You know, we down, whatever. But with your family, it's like it's just a bunch of motherfuckers. Like I didn't ask you to be here.
Yeah.
But I'm supposed to give a fuck that you are here.
I'm not Don Toretto with the family. You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
No, it's not family over everything on this side.
Well, that's a chosen family though.
Oh yeah, all families not blood law.
Yeah, I know.
You're my sister.
I'm just saying there's a whole bunch of people, and especially because in my family, right? So
Yeah.
my mom's mom has 8 kids, and all of them have a billion kids. So I
Yeah.
have like 1,000 like aunts, uncles, cousins, like all
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit going on. And like half of them, I'm like, when I see them, they're like, oh, you know, I miss seeing you, and blah 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 blah. It's like you got my number. You ain't called or texted me one
that might
time.
just be the thing to say. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but that's the thing I'm trying to understand is like, at what point is it? Because the way we as a society talk about family is just like family is everything. Like no matter what happens, like you got to be there for your family. But what about my second cousin twice removed? Like we're technically we're family,
Yeah,
but
not everybody.
I ain't coming to bail you out of jail for the 7th time.
I would say all family just don't seem like family. I feel like my family's a lot closer than most, but it still gets to a point where some of them just like, hey.
It's like some of them. It's like in the back of my mind, I know their name. But if they just
Yeah.
pop up right now, it's gonna take me a couple seconds to be
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah. What's his name?
that's Greg, who is Larry's son on my
Yeah,
mom's
yeah,
side,
yeah, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things that made me start wondering. It's just like, at what point? Not that family is meaningless, but I'm saying, at what point in the family tree is it like, I treat you the same way I would a stranger on the street. Like I give you respect, I give you courtesy, all that. But like you technically being related to somebody that I'm also related to.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
At what point
What
does
does that mean?
Right.
Well, at what point does that not hold as much weight?
So both my parents come from a family of 8. So that means I have 16 aunt and uncles.
It was getting
And-
Jesus.
busy.
And they all
Get a
have
hobby.
kids. They all have
What, add a hobby?
kids. So the
Fucking.
thing is, we're spread out all over the globe. So like some are back here in Laos, some are in Europe, in France, or Portugal,
Yeah.
or Spain.
I would love my family. I'm trying to
And
travel.
then we're all spread out in the States. And then the worst part is, since we used to go see some family members more so than other family members when we were growing up, but the worst one is remembering everyone's Laos name.
Yeah, y'all names are wild.
So wait, you have a Laos name and like an American name also?
Well, no,
That's kinda
it's
fresh.
just most of them.
Or
are
you're
just
saying
so,
the ones who are in Laos still?
No, they all have Laos names, and then we also have like American names too. And
That's
so
kinda
I'm just trying
fresh.
to
I
remember,
love
like,
that.
and like the ones I've met once, and there's actually aunts and uncles I haven't met or seen in a very, very long time, or cousins I haven't met, like the ones that are in Spain. And
Yeah.
so my mom, and I give my mom a hard time, especially we grew up with a lot of family friends too. It's like, do you remember this woman that you met when you were 5 years old? So and so. I was like, no, I don't. I don't at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, like that reminds me. It's
You
like
do get that.
it's not even just so much not caring about my extended family, but it'll be like, oh, I'm talking to my mom on the phone. She's like, oh, you need to call your cousin Will. I hate Will. Like, I don't like him.
I'm not calling
What the fuck am I calling him for?
I know it's the exact same story. It's like
Will could burn in hell.
it's like you need to reach out to your cousins too, because there's a lot of my cousins are all the same age, and it's like they could do the same thing too. My brother does a better job keeping up with them. I guess I'm like the black sheep of the family. It's like I don't give a fuck.
Oh, I feel like that might be who I am because everybody else. So we got this thing, this app, GroupMe.
Yep.
Is what it's called. So we have like a family group chat because basically I blocked all of them on my cell phone because we had a group chat, like a regular iMessage group chat.
His family, son.
They were. I swear to God, hey, they were messaging too much. I'm like, oh no, this shit has to stop. Like it was literally one time I had to go into a meeting for work. Came out to, I swear to God, 67 text messages in that like 45-minute period. I was like, don't you have jobs, kid? Like go find something to do. Leave me alone.
My family does get busy on the group chats, but they're funny. So, but every time I can't interact every time. I just don't have time. But the funniest thing, every time that happens, I always think of that meme where sitting courtside, it's like in the middle is Jay-Z and there's Beyonce and some other lady, and the women are talking like to each other, and Jay-Z's just sitting mad stone faced like, get me the fuck out of here. And that's what I think about.
That's me at most family gatherings. Like I actively avoid those situations. I don't because it'll be like so many people will recognize me, and I'm like, oh, word, good to see you, man. I can't look at you. Oh, you done grown. Oh, you got a mustache.
But
now.
I will
don't know
say,
who
maybe,
you are.
Like,
I haven't seen you since you were a child. And look, it's like, yeah, it's been 30 years.
I think mainly because all the cousins and stuff that I know were just cool. But outside of that, you're right. Some of them I just don't really even know, don't see or talk to.
Like,
so.
I won't say I caused a problem at the last family gathering.
You did.
But like one of my cousins was like, oh, what's going on with you? Blah, 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 blah. And I looked him in the face. I was like, look, we don't have to do this. Like, we don't. Like, you don't give a shit what's happening in my life. I definitely don't care what's happening in your life. Like, we could just kick it about like current events. Like, you don't have to pry into my business.
You are a terror in that family. That's
it's not even been a terror, but it's just like, why do we have to pretend?
I know
you don't care. I don't care.
No,
you can
real.
sit here and eat your burger and your ribs.
Yes.
And like, we don't have to do this other shit.
Strange, but not my family.
Yeah,
I was like,
they just ain't trying to be free. Like, oh, let's stay. I see us since he was 3. Hey, Dave, how's it been, son?
Wait. You ain't seen me since I was 3. You ain't called me since I was 3. You ain't text me since I was 3. I know you got my number.
But it's been, I guess, your 3's been 30 years now, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, where do you start? I haven't seen. I was like, what you been up to? I was like, so at 4, I think.
You still like the Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, no. My Uncle Larry, he did that because I used to be real deep in the Ninja Turtles as a kid. He was like, oh, you still love them turtles, huh? I was like, Larry, I'm 35 motherfucking
I got
years
hair
old.
on my balls, son. Like, what are you talking about?
Yo, if your only point of reference is the Ninja Turtles from when I was 6, just ask me if
let
I
it
saw
go,
the game
let
last
it go.
night.
Yeah.
Just ask me, did I see the game? You know,
That's it.
what you think about them Dolphins this year? Like,
That's it. Leave it at that.
we don't have to do the personal shit.
No, that's a little weird.
And actually, something you said, La, reminded me of some bullshit that's going on at work. You mentioned having like a Laos name and an American name. So I don't know exactly what y'all's situation is, but at my job, they do what I think is like the most disrespectful shit possible. Like, it'll be a dude named Muhammad, but his American name will be like Matt. It's like, who couldn't say Muhammad?
That's the most common name in the world.
Or it'll be like, there's another girl. Her name is a little more complicated. Her name is Tejaswini is what her name is.
Where is she from?
She's from Cambodia. Her name is Tejaswini.
Tejaswini.
I'm like, look, it took me 2 times to figure out how to say that shit. Why does she have to have an American name? And her American name is Taj. Like, what?
Taj?
Like, well, I just feel like
Taj?
Taj, Taj,
Yeah. Okay,
Taj. They make people with names that are not that complicated get American names.
Yeah, that's not hard at all.
Who was so uncomfortable with saying these people's names that they're like,
I could never.
I can't. That Muhammad shit,
Muhammad,
get it
I
out of
would
here.
say, yeah, Muhammad's.
They might have changed it. My parents did when they came overseas. Their names now are more American than mine.
Y'all got some difficult ass names though, for sure.
But my beef is, so I get these like corporate emails at work, and it'll say their real name, and then it'll say like
sign it, Matt.
No, it'll say like goes by, and then it'll be like the American name, and I'm like, yes, and so I'm just like, or
wait,
yes, or it'll say their regular first name, then whatever their American name is in quotes, and then their last name in their signature on their email, and I hate that shit. It's like just learn how to say people. Learn how to say people's names.
You know what I want to do?
Just learn how to say people's names.
I want to do the 23andMe because, you know, I'm an African American and I have no clue about my history.
Thanks, white people.
Thank you. I want to do the 23andMe, and whichever country has the largest percentage, I just want to take
You going to start claiming that?
The most common name in that country. That's my new nickname.
Don't
son.
do that.
Yep.
Don't do that.
I'm doing it.
He's determined to offend like all sorts of parts of Africa.
How am I offending them? I'm representing.
Have you ever met an African?
Yes.
They don't like us.
Yeah, they do.
They don't like American black people.
They like me though.
Okay, that's cool, but in general, they don't like American black people.
That's not true. That is a myth.
No, I've known multiple Africans who are like, I don't like American blacks.
Yeah, but they don't count
Why don't they?
because they don't love us.
Okay.
The only ones that love us count.
Okay, black people from the Caribbean definitely don't like American black people.
That is a fact.
Can't stand, they think we're like
That is
the
a
laziest
fact.
motherfuckers on the planet. They were like, you got a free ride to America and you still ain't made shit out of yourselves?
Yes. You know, did you know? Did you know?
That's how they act, though.
No,
That's how they act.
You know,
I can say they. It's not racist when I say they.
it-
I know. I look like they. I know they.
Are you talking about African
Caribbean
or
black
trans?
people.
I forgot what I was gonna
Especially
say.
Jamaicans. Oh, Jesus
Yes.
Christ.
I forgot what I was going to say. I do what I want. What were you just saying?
I was saying black people from the Caribbean don't like American black people.
Oh, somehow I was going to say, and you're talking about how they think we're lazy?
Always.
Do you know which ethnic group has the highest median salary on average?
I have a joke, but it's grossly inappropriate, so I'm going to just let you give me the answer.
No, I need that joke, son.
Indian people?
I was going to say it's not Mexicans. Go.
That's the hardest working. It's actually Nigerians.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
And you would think, like, I thought they were all princes, but no.
Have you ever met a Nigerian who didn't have a job? I haven't.
No. And they have been killing in the sports world, by the way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
UFC, basketball, everything, soccer, or
I might have to just
football.
start claiming Nigerian.
Let's be Nigerian, bro. I'm from Lagos. Is it Lagos or Lagos?
I got to find a good Nigerian name. The only person I've known from Nigeria was I knew the dude I went to within school, or I went to school with. His name was Bassi Econ. I swear to God, he's the funniest motherfucker I ever met in my life.
Bassi Econ?
It's literally, it was Bassey. Bassi Econ.
That's a dope
was
ass
his
name.
name.
Dope ass name.
And it was funny because he was obviously like a foreigner.
Yeah.
And I was in elementary school when I met him. And our first instinct was to like make fun of him. He had fire jokes
Let's
about
go.
all of
I
us
love that.
Americans.
I love that.
Like you would try to make a joke about Bassi. Like I'm trying to think of an example. Oh, and he used to make fun of us for like dumb stuff, like bathing every day. Like he would just.
Are we back on this?
No. But Bassi was just like, he would make fun of us like, oh, you waste money buying lotion. We're like, what the fuck do you buy? Bassi uses herbs and juices. He was like, look at you stupid Americans. You let the white people steal your money every day.
Herbs and
Every
juices.
day.
I'm not putting the fucking cranberry juice on my elbows. I'm just not happy.
There's someone in my company. Their name, and they live in China. They're global. It doesn't matter.
China.
Their first name is their last name, or both. It's Yuan.
What?
Yuan.
I've seen that before.
Is that weird? I thought that was weird. I'm like,
Ain't Bowl?
Yeah, Bowl.
Yeah, Bowl.
It's like a weird
Yuan,
international thing.
Yuan. It was like,
And it's confusing to me, like with Asian countries, because they say, or not all Asian countries, but I know at least in China, they say your last name and then your first name. So it'd be like, so
like
I'm,
as in a like. In
But
what
it's
way?
almost
like they refer to you by your last
you
name.
do the family name
So-
first.
So it'd be like, so a player came over here from, I don't remember if it was Japan
Yeah,
or
I mean,
China.
did it.
Ichiro Suzuki.
Yep.
But his jersey would say
Yankee.
Ichiro on the back. And I always just be confused, like, why is his first name on the back of the jersey? Then it wasn't until I was an adult that I found out that in the country he comes from, they say your last name first.
That's how Yao
So
Ming
his
was.
first name is technically Suzuki. But they refer to him as Ichiro to avoid like him feeling disrespected.
Yeah.
But
And so it used to confuse the fuck out of me.
why would they put it on the jersey? I know they get called by their. But
Because Ichiro is his last name.
Their name is their last name.
You do your family name first.
Correct.
And then your first.
But
so
how do I address
it's basically
you?
like
Do I address you with
it's
your
basically like
second name or your
No,
first
you
name?
address them by their last name.
yeah, it's basically like in English you say red hat, but if like in French you're gonna say hat first then red.
But that's not the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
Well, no, it's just like you just say the family
the
name
backwards.
first. Like you're known by your family.
Yeah.
So that's why I was confused because they called him Ichiro Suzuki. And normally it's the last name on the back of your jersey. And the back of his jersey said Ichiro. So I was confused. I was like, why is his first name on the back of the jersey? Like I said, it wasn't until I was an adult I found out they just say names differently over there. And they just carried over with his
But
jersey.
you also know I found out.
Why don't they put their family name on the jersey rather than their first name? If they're so, if that's
Ichiro is the
Because-
family name.
Right. So you're known by your family there. So he's called Ichiro Suzuki.
Yeah.
His individual name is Suzuki. Ichiro is what we would consider his last name.
Yes.
And over
Yes.
there, you're known
that's
by
why it's
your
on the
family
jersey.
name. So they say
Jersey
Ichiro
says-
first.
Ichiro.
Right. Your jersey says your last name.
Just like yours would say your last name.
Oh.
Right. So
I thought
normally,
you said, I misunderstood you then. I thought you said his first name was on his jersey. His real.
so that's why I was confused because they called him Ichiro Suzuki. So in my American mind at like 9 years old, I thought Ichiro was his first name.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
I
when
just
Ichiro was on the
misunderstood
back of his
whole-
jersey, I was confused.
You know what's the?
I don't know where I was going.
You know,
with
one of
all
the
that,
weirdest
but-
names I've seen, and y'all gonna love me for doing this because it's gonna be a great segue.
Sexy bird.
One of the weirdest names I've seen on the jersey. World Peace.
Ooh, shout out to Meta.
Yeah, I mean?
Which brings us to something else we want to talk about.
Boom.
The Malice at the Palace.
You heard?
Now, if you're not in your mid 30s like we are, you might have no fucking clue what the Malice at the Palace is because that shit happened in 2004.
Or if you don't care about sports.
And I feel old as shit because I was in my college dorm room watching this game when it happened.
I remember it. Vividly.
So for anybody who doesn't know, so I'll give you the short version of a very like long and complicated story. So the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers are basketball teams in the NBA. All right. So they were playing a random game on this Friday night. Now, both teams were really, really good. The Pacers lost to the Pistons in the playoffs the year prior to when this game happened. So they kind of had like a ongoing beef about who was the best team in the Eastern Conference in the NBA.
Right.
So a particular game, the Pacers were fucking the Pistons up. Just whooping that ass.
Look how things have changed. Neither one of these teams are making moves
Both
now.
teams are trash. So they get down to about like 4 minutes left in the game. For whatever reason, they still had the starters in, even though the Pacers were up by 15 points. So the game starts to get a little bit chippy because you know when you're getting fucked up, like the other team looks at you the wrong way, and now you want to fight to show them, even though we lost, I'm still tougher than you.
Right.
So Ron Artest, who now goes by Meta World Peace, at one point was known as Friend of the Panda.
Yep.
He got into it with Ben Wallace from the Pistons. So they kind of shoved back and forth, and then Ron went and sat down on the scorer's table.
Laid down.
Which we didn't know at the time, but he since said he was practicing what his therapist taught him because he's known to have a short fuse, known to have bouts of rage. He was laying down, counting to 5 to try to calm himself down to keep the situation from escalating. So as he's laying down on the scorer's table, Ben is getting upset. Ben starts taking off his headband and throwing it at Ron. Still, nothing's really happening. It's the NBA. None of these motherfuckers really want to fight.
Right.
It's all just like fake tough guy stuff, like a
That
giant
happened
game
before
of
you lay
chicken.
down.
Right. Oh, yeah, you're right. So it's really just a giant game of chicken. Nothing was going to happen. The refs were going to cool it off. That'd be the end of it. However, before the refs could get everything settled, what happened? Drunk people started drunken. So there was a dude in the crowd. He looked like he was probably about somewhere between like 15 and 20 rows up. He wasn't that far back, but he was sort of close. He takes an entire full beer, and I'm not talking about like the 12-ounce beers you're used to. I'm talking about the mega large, double ultra gulp stadium beer cup.
Yeah.
And chucks it. And he threw it. He put the type of touch on that you would want like a pro NBA center to have around the rim.
Yeah.
He just tossed that shit up, and it landed right on Ron Artest.
Yep.
Now let's go ahead and pause it right there. Let me poll the room real quick. So let's say two of y'all are at a bar.
Yeah.
You see two other people talking, hanging out, having a good time, right? So you see a third person come up from behind one of them and just dump a beer on the person's head.
Yeah.
All right. Person who got the beer dumped on him turns around, punches the beer thrower in the face.
Yes.
What are your thoughts at that point? No other context, just that. That's all that's happened.
You deserve it.
What do you think?
You deserve it.
Oh, yeah.
La?
You assaulted me first.
You don't get these hands.
You assaulted me first by throwing something on me, so.
Okay, and so it's totally reasonable that I turned around and punched you in your fucking face.
Yes.
Okay, let's jump back to 2004.
Right.
All right, so the beer is on Ron Artest. Ron is trying to do his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thing. You know, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the hell is bothering me?
Shouts out
He's
to
trying to do that. So
I know.
he immediately goes, fuck this therapy shit. Somebody got to die.
Yeah. You got to get.
So he runs up in the stands, and the most egregious part of this whole thing to me is the dude who threw the beer points at someone else when Ron gets in the stands. Now, somebody else is getting hands and feet put on him. Then, next level sucker shit, what happens? He points Ron at the other dude.
Yep.
Ron starts punching the other dude. What does the beer thrower do? Starts sucker punching Ron from behind.
Yep.
And now it's fucking on because
Straight melee.
Ron is in the stands. He's fighting, but he also got to do sucker punching him. So his teammate Steven Jackson, who is what I call one of the stay ready all-stars.
Always.
Because live, you don't know, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Oh, God.
So as soon as Steven Jackson, aka Stack 5, saw what was happening, he was He was out.
Yep.
He was in the stands. He was fighting. Then next thing you know, it's just basically a full melee. There are players who are still on the court. Fans are coming, not only chucking shit from all over the arena, fans are coming down on the court. Now, next part of this whole thing. So, all right, so Steven Jackson trying to defend his teammate Ron Artest.
Also, I just want to, before you keep going, kind of compare how it's happening. Remember when fans came back this year and people were throwing shit? And it was like players, first they shouldn't have to deal with that, but they also should be able to like go up there and like knock somebody the fuck out.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But the way they, I mean, I guess you'll get to it at some point, but the way we looked at it this year compared to then is crazy different. It's amazing.
Well, so, all right. So we're going to come back to that, how people perceive the whole situation. Yes. But let's finish, what actually happened. So at this point, fans are flooding the arena. They're coming down to the floor. The refs got no type of control of the situation. Right. For whatever weird reason, there was no security around. Yep. Like none. Till the cops showed up later.
Yep.
So then at this point, Ron gets out of the stands. Like he's trying to get himself, collected.
Yeah.
So there's fans still running up to him wanting to fight. And then at one point, Jermaine O'Neal, his teammate, is on the floor. Now, I don't know about y'all, but the universal sign for I want to fight is I walk up to you like bouncing.
Yeah, you can see it.
Left to right. Tell. Like I'm about to do like a boxing shuffle. To me, that means like you want a piece of this.
Let's go.
And so Jermaine said, if you feeling froggy,
leap,
then jump.
Yep.
Now, I should point out that the gentleman who's bouncing side to side like he wanted smoke looked like maybe 5'8", 5'9".
He was a short little dude.
Jermaine O'Neal is every inch of 6'11", pause. And he hit this dude with the punch from hell.
If he didn't slide...
Yo, okay, so there was beer and shit all over the floor.
Bro, if he didn't slide...
And Jermaine O'Neal slipped as he was punching the dude. Still cold cocked him pretty good. But had he not slipped and was able to flip that hip and put his weight into it, homie's face would have exploded.
Yes. He was coming with it.
All right, so bam, he hits dude. Now, at this point, it's a full-on melee. Now the cops are showing up. And the cops are acting like they want to mace some of the players. But the players are like, yo, they are attacking us.
Yeah.
So they finally get all the players out of there. They get them back to the locker room. Now, before we talk about like the media response, let's go ahead and pause right there. I want to know y'all's opinions. Because sometimes I think maybe I'm crazy. I know I have a sick mind. And so sometimes I look at things differently. But to me, if there are 12 people on my team, there's 12 people on the NBA team, and fans are coming out the stands trying to fight us.
Yeah.
I don't know who's got what. I don't know if you've got like a pocket knife. I don't know if you got a rock. I don't know. I don't know what your intentions are when you come on the floor.
You're in the away arena too.
Yes, you are away from home.
You're not even home. Yeah.
Is it crazy that I'm like, yo, if you get too close to me, I'm punching you in the face?
I'm punching the fuck out of you.
Because how am I supposed to know what you want? I don't know if you want an autograph, especially because, like you said, we're not at the crib. All of y'all got Pistons jerseys on. I don't know if you want to come shake my hand or punch me in the fucking face.
Because you're not walking to the Pistons. You're not trying to be. You're coming at me. So y'all already showing that you're not on my side. Why are you down here? You shouldn't be on the court in the first place.
And the tone is already set that y'all are in here drunk and bugging the fuck out. Yep. Like, and there's no security, so it's not like I'm not letting them do their job. It's like y'all came to my place of work and wanted smoke. And you got it.
Son,
like, what exactly are you mad about?
These dudes have families. They have kids. You got to make it home. Protect yourself at all times.
Well, but that's the thing to me, right? Is like I feel like for whatever reason, most of society, at least in America anyway, we live by jungle rules. Yeah. Meaning, if somebody is bigger, stronger, and faster than you, especially, if they're the same sex, and you start a fight with them, if somebody's a foot taller than you and you start a fight with them and you get beat the fuck up,
your fault.
We say, well, you should have left them the fuck alone.
Right.
But somehow in the sports arena, just because this is technically their workplace, we act like we expect y'all to live by a different code.
Yeah, no.
Because there's so many fans who do and say shit to players that they would never say face to face.
Ever.
And then when it happened face to face, they got fucked up. But for some reason, we try to act like the players are the bad guys because they reacted like human beings.
Bro, the nastiest thing was how the media painted this shit. And I remember because it had me like thinking it was fucked up that the players was like, wow. Even though I understood it, but the way they kept just going at him, it started making me rethink how I was thinking. I was like, well, that's kind of messed up.
I mean, because all right, so there's another book. It's called I think it's called like The Coolest Guys in the Room. It was a tell-all book written by Keith Olbermann, a couple other people from ESPN, and they talk about the incident in the book because when the incident first happened on TV, if you listen to the broadcast, they're talking about how the fans should never throw things at the players, how they sparked this incident, yada yada yada. So in the book, The Coolest Dudes in the Room, they talk about how at ESPN basically they had an emergency meeting right then because the game was being broadcast on ESPN.
Right.
They had an emergency meeting where the big bosses basically said the customers pay the bills. No matter how you break down the situation, you can't blame the fans.
Nasty.
And shit immediately flipped. They started saying the players were thugs. And they listened to too much rap music and that hip hop was invading the NBA because they didn't just let the fans act however they wanted.
Right.
Because up to that point, they were letting the fans say whatever they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
But once you made physical contact, once you threw a fucking beer on me, like I'm a man just like you. It just so happens I'm 2 feet taller than you, and now you about to get this work. Like I never understood that. And then the thing about it was, so it moved on from there, right? So everybody was saying they were thugs. They were like, the NBA has to do something about this. David Stern, who was a commissioner of the NBA, like he's got to get a hold of his league because shit is out of control. Now we're talking about one incident.
That's it.
Now, for
that
those
was
of y'all,
sparked by fans.
Correct. And for those of y'all who don't know the history of this same shit happened in like the 60s and the 70s. Like they straight up beat the shit out of fans. But because, I mean, it's the elephant in the room, it was white players beating up white fans. Nobody got called a thug.
Right.
Players got suspended for like 2 games, and it was just basically like a slap on the wrist, like, hey, don't do that again.
They didn't blame it on Rock or anything. So,
but when assuming
those players listen
when
to
the
Rock,
black people beat up some fans, it's like, oh, they're thugs. Look at these animals.
And it got real racist, and it was also like around the time when AI was influencing like a lot of like the style. So clothes were getting real baggy, tattoos were becoming a thing. And they were really just trying to make it seem like hip hop for some reason.
I felt like they didn't like the players in the first place, and like this was the excuse. Like, see,
I told you. Exactly. Look at them, animals.
And the thing about it to me was, if you look at how the situation played out, okay, so that's how the media's painting them as like these animals, which is crazy to me. And like that shit is really like upsetting to me because it's just like the man got a beer dumped on his head at his workplace. You would want to fight too in the exact same circumstance. What does rap have to do with
nothing? I'm not thinking about music when you're throwing shit at me.
Like at its core, this situation is about respect.
So if they never listened to rap, they would have just been like, okay, you can throw things on me.
That's what I don't understand.
I don't understand.
Like what non-rap fan is letting you dump a beer on his head?
Also,
I know some dudes who only listen to Kid Rock who would have beat the shit out of somebody for dumping a beer on him.
I have a question for you because I know there's 2 people to me out of that documentary who seem to just be complete assholes. Did you see any of that in the documentary?
I mean, I saw more than 2. Definitely the fan who got punched. He was an asshole. For those of y'all who haven't seen the doc yet, and I guess I should explain, this doc is on Netflix. It's part of a docuseries called Untold. And the first episode is about the Malice at the Palace. But the fan who got punched in the face definitely goes
double downs.
I don't understand. Y'all made it seem like it was my fault. You did a Lifetime fan really, really wrong. What? And then the dude who threw the beer, he was an asshole because he got called in by the police. He was like, I'm not in trouble, am I?
Those are the 2.
Like
those are my 2. Right
I didn't do anything wrong. And then reporters came to the house of the dude who threw the beer. He tried to sick his dog on the reporters. He sent 10's ass out there to get the reporters off the lawn.
Oh, that's funny.
Tried to sick his German Shepherd on him. And you could hear him like yelling shit from the garage. Like, get off my lawn. My dog's going to bite you.
They asked him, like, would he do it again? It's something crazy. And he just was kind of like double down with it. He was cool about it.
No, they were like, do you feel bad about like all the fallout from like what you did? He was like, no.
Nope. And then, like you said, the one who walked up and got his shit rocked was also just still an asshole about it.
Yeah. Again, to me, the universal sign that he was. You walk up to me bouncing left to right in a situation where people are already throwing blows. That means you want to fight.
And then he claimed it was a sucker punch,
which I don't get at all.
You're coming to him. He's coming at you. You got punched.
I've been looking in your eye this whole fucking time. Yeah. It just so happens I also put my fist in it.
Exactly.
And so, okay, and then the thing that really, really bothered me about the whole situation, because I feel like as a kid, so I guess I wasn't a kid, so 14 years ago,
just young.
I was like 21 when this happened. I didn't realize all the like court proceedings that happened. as far as, the NBA suspended these guys for a bunch of games. So they suspended Ron Artest for the rest of the season, which I thought was bullshit.
Yep.
They suspended Steven Jackson for like 15 games, something like that. And then Jermaine O'Neal got 30 games. Jermaine O'Neal took this shit to court.
Yep.
And the federal judge said this was self-defense.
Yep.
Like you were being attacked in your workplace. Like you had the right to defend yourself.
It was David Stern who made it a problem.
Right, exactly. And the thing that bothers me, though, is you saw the way the media was like, oh, thugs, animals, you listen to too much hip-hop, your clothes are too baggy, that's why you hit the fans.
That shit is gross.
They were all big, bad, loud, and proud about that shit. But then when he won his case and the federal judge was like, no, y'all tripping, he shouldn't have been suspended.
Quiet as a mouse.
Like, you could hear a pin drop. Like, nobody had shit to say about that.
I hate you don't notice it then, but you see a lot. You see a whole lot now because the media is like way more prevalent than it was back then, in everything, almost everything that's going on. So
yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like it's not necessarily revealing like new information.
Yeah,
but it just makes me realize like how mad I should have been the first time around.
Exactly.
But that being said, like the fans' bad behavior made me think of like something else I saw recently.
What's that?
So did you see what Idris Elba said about like social media, like how he thinks things should change?
Oh, we're back with Idris. What did he say?
Okay, so Idris basically said that you should have to prove your identity to be on social media. So like before you get a Twitter account, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, you should have to prove your identity as far as, just showing like ID or some sort of proof of like you are who you say you are. You can't just get on the internet and like say wild shit and think it's cool because you're hiding behind an avatar and a screen name.
Yeah.
So how you feel about that?
I kind of agree with him because one, I'm big. I love Twitter. Twitter is probably my second favorite behind Reddit as far as social media goes. I probably be using more than Reddit, and I just don't interact with faceless or nameless people because one, you don't know if it's just some dude in fucking Russia somewhere just starting shit just because. Hey,
I thought the verification was only for celebrities.
No.
Or people with multiple followers.
So-
is this like a new thing, or because I know the verified, like the blue check.
So
mark
verified-
it depends on who you know.
So getting verified is supposed to be for celebrities so that to verify that, when people think that they are interacting with person XYZ, they know it's really that person or at least an account authorized by that person.
Right.
Idris Elba is saying that should be the same for everybody to basically get rid of the anonymity of people who just randomly attack you on the internet, talk shit, blah, blah, blah.
bots,
because
that sort of thing.
Right. Well, so that's the other thing is he was also saying that we need to separate not only, or make it so that I know who you are, but also separate the bots from the fake people. Because he was looking at it just from a celebrity perspective as far as he was like, you should see all the nasty, vile, disgusting shit people say to me.
Oh, yeah.
Largely because they have, that what I call like keyboard confidence. Like because I know you don't know me, you don't know who I am, you don't know where I live, and there's no repercussions for what I say, I'll get on here and say any motherfucking thing.
They have internets.
And so basically what Idris was saying was that by removing the anonymity, it gives more like weight to what you're saying. Like your coworkers can see that you said this. Like your boss can see what you said. Your family, the people you go to church with.
Right.
Like if you really stand behind the shit you're saying, put your name on it.
If you think about it, once those people do get called out, once their identity is exposed, all of a sudden, oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying to be,
right.
I'm actually a big fan of you.
Well, he was just basically saying
I just wanted some attention.
That it gets you closer to like jungle rules on the internet.
Yes.
Like you can't say some shit unless you really mean it.
So what I think is I'm cool with proving yourself. That's fine because that's the thing. But also some of these parody accounts are kind of funny, not the ones that are like malicious. So I think it should be a little tag like parody account, not just them saying it. Maybe it's like a little P in a green circle instead of the blue check. You know what I'm saying?
Just go back of your algorithms and how many times you're trolling too.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
just bouncing around, just name it.
Also, so much fun has been taken out of social media because of people like that. The people trolling or just trying to cause shit or cause divisions. Because someone was telling me about I want to say it was Russians. I can't remember. But anyway, they were controlling a Black Lives Matter account, and they're also controlling like ultra conservative account. And what they did is they had both accounts playing rallies at the same time in the same place just to cause some shit. You know?
To me, like that's part of the issue is like, okay, let's take it back a little bit. So when I first got the internet, it was probably 96,
Yeah,
97,
AOL
like,
was popping.
somewhere in there. Oh, because they were spamming me with the fucking discs like every week.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, floppy disk used to be a thing. So before this other thing you never heard of called a compact disc, it used to be a floppy disk, and it was like a little square, had AOL on it. You would stick it in your Hewlett Packard computer,
It was a
and you would
safe
install the
icon for
software.
the longest.
Yes. So
Hewlett Packard is now HP for all those.
right, or if you had like a compact, or
Trash
actually,
ass company, by the way.
you might not even had an HP back then. You would have had a Packard Bell back in
Woo!
'96.
I had
Yeah,
one. I had
Compact
one.
US.
yeah. Shout out to my mid-30s.
Hey, let's go.
So back then, part of the beauty or like the draw of the internet was like the anonymity of it all.
Look how excited we get about old shit. Packard Bell. Ooh,
Yeah,
Packard Bell.
I remember having like the thick ass desktop, but it was like sideways. Like we didn't even have
Yeah.
towers back then. It was a sideways one. Then when you bought a computer, you had to install like 87 discs worth of software, but then you got a virus like the next day and had to like had to reformat the whole thing.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many times I got blue screen of death off of like sketchy
Bro,
porn
what?
sites, but
It was porn. We haven't talked about porn in a long
100%.
time. Good for us.
I
Good.
Yeah,
was-
that's
I
what
was-
good for us.
I was heavy on wow.com. That was women of wrestling, but that's another story. All right. So back then, the anonymity you used to get on the internet was like part of the appeal.
Yeah.
Like I could go online, I could be whoever it is like that I want to be. But at the same time, back then the internet was like a place you went to.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a place you went to, you checked your email, did whatever you need to do, and like you left, and then it was back to the real world.
Yes, you went outside.
Now it's like the real world and the internet are like
Swapped.
one thing. And
They
so it's like
swapped.
the internet is like all around you 24/7.
Yeah.
So now back then, like when you had that anonymity online, but then you were who you were offline, now it's like it's one and the same.
Yeah.
But there's just that one aspect of your life where you don't have to like prove who you are, even though for many people, the way they represent themselves online is reaching way more people than they do in like their everyday life.
And it also started to believe that's who they are. Like that, their internet persona is way more important than their actual persona, I guess.
Well,
You
and I
call it.
also feel like back then you didn't really interact with like other people that often on the
No, you
internet,
didn't.
except for when you were getting weird in a chat room, drop that ASL.
That was the only time.
That was
hey,
me.
You know the vibes.
Hey, I remember my first cyber sex with somebody named screen name M Spaka, probably a dude, but I had a good time.
There's no probably. Definitely a much older adult for sure.
Oh, it was 100% a man. But no, I feel like now,
So many thoughts.
like your online persona
Rub them
is your
titties.
real persona. And I feel like if you don't have to prove who you are, that's when you get to go be an asshole on the internet.
Yes.
And there's so many people I know, like they call that shit trolling, but I hate that shit. It's
Me
like,
too.
you're just being an asshole.
That's all.
Just being an asshole.
And it's also the
term
best
is
place
Best being an asshole.
where hurt people, and that's the best place to do it.
No, but here's the thing though. When people say trolling, it's not you're just being an
They're not
asshole.
troll-
They
yeah.
use trolling to like minimize it. Like, oh, it's not real. Like he doesn't really feel that way. He's just saying that to get a rise out of people.
Oh, I just.
But
I
you're being
took-
an asshole.
I took it
Yes.
as that they're just a bunch of assholes and they have this cloak where
No,
they
well,
can use that.
so when trolling first started, it was I'm just doing things to cause a problem. It was like, oh, I don't really
Stirring
mean
shit
it.
up.
It's not a reflection on who I am as a person.
Yeah.
I'm just doing funny shit on the internet.
Right.
It's how it started. That's how trolling started.
I think you're just an asshole.
Yeah.
You are trolling.
But I'm saying that's the point
Trollers
we're
are
at.
all assholes.
That's what I'm saying because shit has like
I'll make that
evolved. It's like
correlation.
because your online persona and your real persona are so close. How many people do you know who are assholes on the internet but not assholes in real life at this point? I don't know any.
You don't know it? Yeah.
If you're an asshole, I think you're just an asshole. You're gonna be online too.
And so that's what Idris Elba is saying. Is like you should have to prove your identity
Yes.
because this is who you really are.
Stand by it.
And the people around you should know that like this is who you are.
Yeah.
So I'm like on the one hand, I'm not about necessarily giving out my private information,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like if we all agree
Yeah.
that we're gonna be in a place where I can say whatever I
Yes.
want. Like I don't think there should be any type of canceling, none of that shit. I can say whatever I want, but
Yes.
you know who I really am. I'm with that.
I'm cool with that because I'm not going to change. I say unfunny jokes in real life. I say unfunny jokes on the internet.
I'm just
That's
saying
what
I'm
I
not-
do.
If I give you my social, you can't cancel me.
I don't
Like-
want to give out my social.
No, I'm just saying, like, if I prove,
Oh yeah.
if I prove my identity,
Yeah, yeah,
you should
yeah.
not be able to cancel me.
That's a fact.
Because I stand on the shit I said.
Also, we got to cancel canceling.
I mean,
You have to allow people to make mistakes at least. If it's like your first time saying just. It also depends on what it is, of course. But everything ain't malicious. You know what I'm saying?
well, but the other thing about it to me is I feel like canceling the whole idea is stupid.
And who's
Like
really
I don't
been
even like
canceled?
saying that word. Nobody,
Yeah.
except R. Kelly, but that's only because he's in jail.
He's not even canceled.
hey,
He's just locked up.
hey, this might be a hot take. If R. Kelly puts out a slap tomorrow, he's uncanceled. I promise you. If he drops another step in the name
Why
of
in
love,
jail?
No,
Just right
I
now?
disagree. I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
yo, there was a whole bunch of controversy about him peeing on a girl.
Yes.
He dropped Step in the Name of the Love.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cared.
When did he drop that though?
What do you mean?
It was way pre-cancel culture.
No. But all I'm saying is people got over it.
No, people were getting over everything back then.
Okay, but hold up. People tried to cancel Tory Lanez.
Yes.
He dropped an album that slaps.
But
And
there's
then,
a difference.
wait.
Big difference.
But all of
Big
a sudden,
difference.
nope. All of a sudden, people started to be like, oh, well, I mean, we don't really know the facts. We don't know if he shot her.
Exactly.
And I'm saying there is a whole generation of black people ready to forgive R. Kelly. That's what I'm saying.
No, there are a group of them already out there forgiving him now. Writing
so,
letters.
okay, so if he drops a slap, it's gonna do numbers, period.
But that's where you're wrong.
Okay, how am I wrong?
Like that small number of people may still like want to listen. I mean, they listen to him now. That's not going to change. But he's not going to be on any charts, any billboards, anything like that.
I mean, I wish I could give him a
Also,
hit so we
because
can see what
he's
happens.
we're still finding fucked up shit about him. Like apparently he's fucking little boys too. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
So,
okay,
He is fucking little boys, isn't he?
yeah, at first we didn't know
What are you
that.
talking about now? I'm sorry.
R.
I'm
Kelly.
talking about R. Kelly.
Okay, so
Who did you
All right,
think?
all right,
Tory
so
Lanez would
maybe-
never doing
Well,
that.
he was- no, I was like, wait, hold on.
Tory Lanez
should
is a
be-
little boy.
Yeah,
He's like 5'2" in real
I was
life.
just talking about like that
He is
whole-
definitely
His
from
name,
the,
his name is
He hit on
Daystar.
that- well, who's trying to hit on that McDonald's, that story we talked about?
Huh?
R. Kelly?
What about R.
Hey,
Kelly?
McDonald's.
Little boy. Never mind.
But Tory Lanez is definitely from the Kirk Franklin tribe. Him
Oh,
and
yeah, him and
Plies
Plies.
are all from the same tribe. I always
Kirk
the way
Franklin and Plies are the same person.
I put people in tribes just how they look. They're definitely from the same one.
But no, I feel like it's okay. R. Kelly might have been a bad example. I'm just
Yeah, it's a
saying
terrible example.
that to your point, nobody's really been canceled.
Now, you're right. Now, like you were saying last week, your boy Ye, he keeps put out something because
He tried to rig an election.
yes,
And he sold out a stadium to listen to reference tracks.
and someone
Unfinished
They made a
songs.
good point on the Joe Budden podcast. What he did is he never apologized about it. He just stopped doing it publicly. Like we don't know what he's believing behind closed door. He just stopped saying that shit publicly.
because apologizing is overrated.
Exactly.
Like, honestly, when's the last time somebody
The
apologized to
thing
you
is,
and you're like, oh,
because
well,
when you
that fixes
apologize, no
everything.
one believes you. You could be sincere or not. Everyone's saying, "Oh, he's just doing this so he doesn't lose money on
And
so-
truth be told, apologies don't fix shit.
Ever.
Like, not once. Like, that shit is just a gesture to make you feel better about the fucked up shit I did. But it doesn't really fix nothing.
Yeah.
Unless you actually stop doing the fucked up
right.
thing.
That nothing changes with that. So
But I mean, I think it could be good. Just because I feel like the internet has flipped. Like I said, you used to be able to be anonymous, and everything on the internet was, I mean, not all verified, but there was a lot less misinformation than there is today. And so I feel like between people lying about who they are, bots, people trolling,
Yep.
and all the misinformation that's out there, I feel like before we get to trying to fix social media, we need to fix like the internet at large.
Yes.
Like, not that you can proofread everything that goes on the internet because it's obviously wide open to
yeah, you
everybody.
can't do that.
But I feel like there needs to, at this point, be like an arm of the government who verifies like certain shit on the internet. Like I know we have like Snopes.com.
Whoa, North Korea.
But I'm just saying. Because, and look, if there's one thing I know in 2021, it's the average person is taking in more information than they can handle.
Absolutely.
Like most people
Absolutely.
don't know how to discern from what's true or what's not.
I have. That makes me want to get to another point. Before I do, speaking of people on the internet, shouts out to Jarvis and Tyler.
And in Spock or wherever you at.
Yeah, you
I
hear
miss
it?
you, boo.
Shit. What were you just saying?
I don't know. You're talking about weirdos on the internet. I was saying what's up to my former
I was
flame.
talking about weirdos.
No, but all I was saying is that there's just so much fucking misinformation
that's-
out there.
Yeah, it's just not natural for us to get that much shit. And the saddest thing about this, and it's been this way for me for a long time, is we have so much access to information, but it seems like in general, overall, we're getting dumber.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make it's the more access we have, it's like the more we just want to think like each other. Group think is just at an all-time high to me right
And
now.
honestly, you want to hear a conspiracy theory?
Speaking of tribes, what's that?
I think all this shit was on purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, so we went from
I think so
we
too.
went from like our trusted information source was like the library, and that's where you went. Like you got some shit on some
Who reads
microfiche,
books?
stuck it in that big ass
Yeah.
TV screen, and you turned the thing. You went to the encyclopedia. These
Yep.
were what we considered like verified information
I used
sources.
to love that encyclopedia, by the way.
Somebody had to. It was so weird. There back then we used to have like door-to-door encyclopedia salesmen, And like my grandparents had Encyclopedia Britannica, but they didn't have all the letters.
Yeah,
like over
we're
the years,
missing
some just got
M&S,
missing.
which are very important letters in the alphabet, apparently.
Yeah, and what's crazy was like back then I used to think if some shit wasn't in the encyclopedia, like it wasn't worth knowing.
Yo, the encyclopedias we had were so old. They were talking about like John F. Kennedy when he was alive. So it was pretty.
I
rough.
mean, my grandparents' encyclopedias definitely referred to us as Negroes, so they were old. But anyway, so my conspiracy theory is like all this shit was on purpose because it's like you flood the internet, which obviously over time we saw it was becoming like a huge resource for information. You flood the internet with misinformation.
Yep.
Now what happens? Now you have certain sources you consider trusted news sources like a CNN, like a Fox News, whoever. And so you end up with like 3 news corporations that control like the thought of like 85% of the world. And like maybe I sound crazy, maybe I sound nuts, but I really feel like this shit was on purpose.
I'm gonna say right now, fuck Rupert Murdoch.
Oh yeah, he could definitely suck a whole bag of wee-wees.
How isn't he like 142? When is he dying?
He's never gonna die. He's definitely got immortality.
He's like the anti Betty White. Like I want Betty White to live forever. Rupert Murdoch, man, but come on, kick that bucket.
Okay, so real quick before we get out of here this week, let's finish on a happier note. I feel like we talked about some real heavy shit today.
Oh wow.
Let's talk about McDonald's. Those golden arches.
McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. You remember that?
Was that the song?
That was before I'm Loving It.
I just remember being scared of Grimace.
For food, folks, and fun. And Grimace was terrifying. He was like the fat dude at the Chuck E. Cheese.
And I felt like they made Hamburglar like a little too like hip hoppy, and like it felt like a subliminal thing. They were like, why does the black one got to be a criminal?
Yeah, why you stealing burgers?
Like we all work for McDonald's. Why do we have to steal cheeseburgers?
We don't have to do that.
But all right, so you may have seen your So Icy girl, Sweetie, has an endorsement deal with McDonald's.
What did Quavo hit her up with?
He DM'd her just. He said, "You so icy, I'm a glacier boy," and then sent her a snowflake, and she fucked him off that, which is a tragedy in and of itself. But anyway,
I can't wait to be rich.
All right, she got a deal with McDonald's where there's a Sweetie meal. So it's a Big Mac, small fry, and a 4-piece nugget. Yeah. And it comes with Sweetie sauce, which is just sweet and sour sauce where they changed the package. So, number one, it's like, how can I put this? Why Sweetie? Like of the like top 50 influencers out there, I'd have to get way down on the list before I got to Sweetie. Why her?
Because you're right. Because first it was Travis Scott. Then like
which
BTS,
makes sense.
BTS had one because they're massive. Yeah, I don't see how she goes in that group.
I mean, Sweetie is obviously fine as hell, but I just feel like if you're trying to get bang for your buck from McDonald's, it ain't Sweetie.
Now, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't do it, but I feel like you might want to hit like a Rihanna for this or something.
Rihanna would never. McDonald's? Rihanna she would never put that poison in her body. Don't do that again. I don't want to have to send the Navy after you.
You think Sweetie? You think Sweetie's really out here eating her Big Macs and nuggets?
Sweetie,
she might. You're right.
How can I put this? Hood rat? That Sweetie kind of is like the face of hood rats in 2021.
You just answered your question, sir.
I mean, there are non-hood rats who eat McDonald's. I'm just saying you could get a non-hood rat influencer is all I'm saying.
Okay. I'm going to ask you this. You think more rich people or more poor people will go to McDonald's?
Rich people don't fuck with McDonald's. I'm not rich and I don't eat McDonald's. That shit is poison, son.
I'm telling you, son, that Sweetie's the way to go.
That's just going to kill you.
She's an icy queen.
Do you remember, because I was talking to somebody about this the other day, do you remember when they tried to change the Lay's chips and they tried to make them fat-free and it was making people bleed out their ass?
Is that like the clear Pepsi?
No. Swear to God. Hold up. Swear to God. I promise we're not going to end on rectal bleeding, but...
Son,
so what happened?
I've had hemorrhoid problems. I know about this.
They switched the formula on the Lay's, and they started using this new oil called Olestra that was fat free, and they had to put a warning label on the chips. I swear to God, like, can you please Google Lay's Olestra?
Your ass might bleed.
I don't even know how to spell that.
Olestra.
How do I get there?
They had to put a warning on the bag saying that the chips are cooked in Olestra and it may cause anal bleeding. I swear to God.
See? That big. There you
go. I found it.
Yay.
All right, yes. Please Google Lay's Olestra.
Yeah, I was trying to see if Ecker was still open.
I don't think so.
No, they're not.
There's still like 1 or 2 in Florida, I think.
Yeah,
there it is.
Sorry.
Let's go. Wow.
See, I told you it was the fat-free Lay's.
I remember
this.
Yeah.
It was fat-free Lay's, and it made you bleed out the ass.
Bro, why is your ass bleeding?
I don't.
So if you go back,
why are you?
All right, look.
there it is.
Olestra may cause abdominal cramping and loose stools. Olestra inhibits the absorption of some vitamins and other nutrients. Vitamins A, D, E, and K have been added. Okay, can you go back? Because one of them said, why was Olestra banned? Please click that.
Loose stool?
Y'all swear to God I'm playing.
Yo, if I'm...
No, it was anal bleeding.
Unless I'm in a dive bar, I don't want to deal with loose stools, son.
Okay, it caused gastrointestinal problems as well as weight gain. No. Click where it says 10 foods Americans eat that are banned around the world.
I kind of want to go through this list real quick.
Me.
Can we go through this list real
bleed out
fast?
the ass.
Was that macaroni and cheese? Which one?
Can we go through this list real fast?
Farm?
All right,
No, we
so
don't have to. Never mind.
wait, farm salmon is banned? Ugh, I've been poisoning myself for a minute. What else is on the list?
Bro, you always want to go
It's
wild
banned
call.
around the world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Americans can eat anything.
Yeah. Salmon.
But somehow,
They engineered papaya.
but for some reason, we had to get rid of the bucket of fries. This makes no sense to me.
And super size.
What is this?
Right.
And biggie size.
Because fat people don't have self-control.
Bread
Keep
with
going.
potatoes. Keep going.
Coloring agents. Oh, I know some of those dyes will kill you. Okay, Olestra. Hold up.
There it is.
All right, wait, go down. All right. No, this doesn't say ass bleeding either. All right, so I swear to God,
My man lying to us.
I swear to all right.
It is say
anyway.
loose stools though.
Hey.
Hey, well, no, just look up Olestra ass bleeding. Ain't
Yo,
gonna mess
your
with my
algorithm is
algorithms.
gonna be crazy
I got a lot
after
worse
this.
things I've searched for. Also,
All right, anyway, so it's
That's what-
poison. But all right, so having said that,
The chips that sent us running to the. God forbid.
all right, anyway, Olestra will fuck your shit
Tech
up.
and law are just
So
oil and water.
while La gets it together on the internet tip. So
I do y'all a favor here.
Are you doing us a favor?
Yeah, because you
are
want a very
struggling.
specific answer, and I'm trying to get the answer.
okay, you don't need to Google
Okay, well,
ass bleeding.
I'm not good.
All right, in like 3 episodes, we'll finally get the answer for you.
All right, so all right, having said all that, this shit is poison. But if you had a fast food endorsement,
Yeah.
what restaurant would it be? What would be your meal?
Is Five Guys considered fast food? Or is that
Yes.
fast casual?
I mean, we'll count it.
Fast food.
Five Guys on top.
All right, what would be in the rail meal?
So mine is, it's going to sound Maine. Mad Plain. I put the words together. I was like, Maine?
Gucci
But he
Mane.
wants y'all to believe he can
Gucci
read.
Mane so good, ask the money at your purse. No, this is what it would be. It'd be the cheeseburger they have. We're about to get Mad Plain again.
The regular burger or the little burger?
Oh, the regular. I can't do
Okay.
little.
Oh, excuse me.
Burgers. Pause. So cheese, of course. Mayo, ketchup, mustard, lettuce, pickles.
American cheese ain't real, just so we're clear.
Oh, it's not even real cheese.
It's just plastic.
Yep.
It's delicious though.
Tasty treat.
Ugh. You eat American cheese?
I love American
American
cheese.
cheddar.
Ew.
I love American.
Are you gonna tell me you
processed-
drink tap water?
Hell no.
Oh, but you eat American cheese? Don't look
Hey,
at me
look.
like that about
Time
tap
out,
water.
son. Y'all don't drink tap water?
No.
I
You
drink it filtered
uppity
cheese.
motherfuckers.
Hey, that fluoride is to program your brain, my brother. Keep that third eye open.
I can't open it because I've been drinking tap water.
Yo, where was I? Okay, but let's get back to your meal. La eats American cheese.
Y'all
What's
sick
wrong
of me.
with
She
American
loves it.
slice-
That's
American
disgusting.
sliced cheese?
Oh, you from Florida. I understand why you don't drink. You from Florida. I understand why you have a problem with tap water.
It's not Mexico. Like
That
you
shit,
can
no,
can
that
drink
shit in
the water.
Orlando, sulfur water bullshit.
I mean,
Tastes like drinking like,
I mean, we drink out
Gas.
of the Cumberland River, so.
yo, it's Zephyr Hills on
Yes,
this
it
side.
is
I don't know what
delicious.
y'all been
Ew,
doing.
have you seen the Cumberland River? This is gross.
I've drank it most. I
mean,
just had some this morning.
Talking about, have y'all seen any river that we get our water from?
Yeah.
What y'all talking about?
Yeah.
Spring water on this side. I don't know what y'all talking
Ain't nothing
about.
but sediment and trash.
AKA the indoor filter. But all right, so what's,
shouts out to Britta,
what's
though.
in the rail meal?
That's all I was saying. So all it's going to be is, it's nothing special crazy, but it's just the cheese, mayo.
Are you making your own burger or just a meal?
Yes, I'm making.
Okay, it's a burger.
So you don't have to necessarily give us the toppings, but go ahead.
yeah. That's
Yes,
what
I
I'm
do.
saying.
Yeah.
It's your meal. Go ahead.
I know. I'm trying to.
Do
If
what
y'all
you
would
want.
let
She
me.
eats American cheese. Go ahead.
Yes,
We all
cheese,
have burgers too.
cheese, mayo, ketchup, mustard, lettuce, and pickles. And then you get the little fry because Five Guys, you don't need to get the regular fries. I learned the first time I went to Five Guys, I got the regular fries right.
Their
And
fries kind of suck, but go
if
ahead.
you've never been to Five Guys, the
fries
burgers is where they shine.
Oh yeah. I feel like
I
they
get
don't
the
cook
regular.
the
I don't get
fries
the
all
Cajun.
the way.
I
They're
don't
never
get the Cajun.
crisp
The
as
regular
enough.
too, even though there's not
I
much
love
better.
Shake Shack right now. I'm sorry.
I don't like Shake Shack.
I like Shake Shack.
I don't like In-N-Out either, but that's a whole different story. But anyway,
In-N-Out's burgers are overrated, but go ahead.
I've already told you I won't, but if you've never been to Five Guys, I'll tell you this. When you get your bag, do not hold it by the top. Because the first time I went to Five Guys, I'm walking out happy to try it, and the bottom just opens up.
Come on
that
now, man.
grease?
That shit is so greasy you can see through
Yes.
it. What made you think the paper was gonna stay together?
I was just happy to try it.
You gotta have a hand on
But
it.
can I
You
tell
gotta
you
have a
this?
hand. Go ahead.
But they haven't figured
When
it
I
out.
stopped it and caught it, I still had so many fries left over because they give you so many fucking fries.
Yo,
I was still cool. I was full.
There's no way those are like regular, non-genetically engineered
Thumbs
potatoes
up.
because they just be slinging them fries.
What would y'all do? What would y'all meals be? I mean, mine's kind of boring, I guess.
Mine would be a Publix meal. It'd be called the DJ Diddy.
Bro, shouts out to Publix.
Publix.
It would be a
Mad fuck Florida, by the way.
Publix chicken tender sub on wheat bread because I care about my health. With buffalo sauce, because the Publix buffalo sauce is different.
And their honey mustard.
If you haven't had their buffalo sauce, you need that in your life.
That's just amazing.
So it's a chicken tender sub on wheat with the buffalo sauce, provolone cheese, no lettuce because that's just a waste of my gut space.
This guy.
Tomatoes, banana peppers.
Is that considered fast
Banana peppers are underrated.
I'm just saying, if I did a food endorsement deal, it would be with
Yeah, that
Publix,
makes sense.
where shopping is
But
a
I will
pleasure.
say this, shouts out to you. Because I went down to Florida with him, was it last year?
Gunshine State.
Yeah, man. And we went to Wawa. Bro,
Well, actually, okay, so wait, I got to stop you. Wawa is a Philadelphia thing.
I don't
That
care.
has now come to Florida.
The first time I went to it was in Florida.
All right, so for anybody who doesn't know, Wawa is a gas station that's known for their sandwiches.
I didn't know it was up north too, but
Yeah, so they're known for their sandwiches. Now on the sandwich scale, they're all right. But for a gas station, that
Yes.
shit is busting.
better than Blimpies.
And it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you get a chance, fuck with Wawa.
Y'all remember Blimpies?
Yeah, I remember it used to be like a beef, like a gang war between Blimpies and
The
Subway.
Yes, facts.
And Subway won. Shout
Yes.
out to Jared. I hope you rot in jail.
Hey, the funniest thing about Jared, they said when he got locked up, they said his new favorite sandwich is the Black Forest ham. I was like, that's money right there.
I see what you did there.
Speaking of which, what would be your meal?
I don't really care right now. I have
Come
to
on,
pee,
Lay.
So I really want to end this show.
I don't like your negative
How about
attitude.
Baskin Robbins?
Okay.
How about that? Just because I'm sweet and cold.
Yo, we could do an hour just on that right there.
I wish the camera was on her face. She looked like mad menacing when she said that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on that
Scary.
note, this has been episode 43 of the Nasty Boys podcast. Rel, you got anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
Nope, 615. Holla at your boy. Also, I do want to say, if you're on the PlayStation Network, Rail Surf, hit me up because I'm whooping ass right now in Call of Duty. Come see me.
And you don't have to prove your identity to be his friend, so it's
Don't
a
even
free
matter.
for all. Hey, shout out to y'all. We'll see you next week.